Shannon. How are you?
I'm great, Laura. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to see you. I'm super excited that you are my first guinea pig for our new JPAR WELL series. This is all about women empowering, leading, and leveraging. And clearly couldn't think of anybody better than you to bring in as the person to highlight and showcase as the first person that we're interviewing. So 27 years in real estate, right? You have volunteered on professional development, technology boards, certifications. You're CE certified. You teach for the Texas Realtors Association. Obviously, of course, in your role as Vice President of Connection and Career Success at JPAR, you're obviously doing a lot of teaching there. Your teaching and inspiring, though, it extends beyond JPAR, it's beyond the work that you do in all of these different boards and nonprofits through the industry. You also bring it to, I understand, women's Bible study groups. What else? I mean, married to Howard since 1995, 3 grown children. Where do you find your time, number one, to do a huge role like what you're just wrapping up, right? You were president of the Greater Fort Worth Association of Realtors. That's a massive organization. How many people are in that? What was the role? Tell me a little more.
We have just about 5,000 members at the association. So it's a really good sized association, but it is led by a phenomenal staff. They're wonderful and they really helped a lot. It has been an amazing year. You asked me where I get the time. I am very blessed to be, I would say, highly organized.
Yes, yes, you are. I can attest to that.
If it's not on my calendar, it does not happen, number one. And number two, I would say that I really, I kind of plan out. I look at the 2 weeks that are coming and I say, okay, but then again, you look at the night before and you go, oh, okay, so this day is going to be totally hijacked and we're going in a complete different direction. So I would say over the last 5 years, one of the things that I was lacking in that I really am grateful for is flexibility. So because I'm a high planner, it was really hard for me to be flexible and pivot. And that is something that I really had to learn. And I think just in all of the different things that I do and the roles that I have, I really had to be flexible.
I really can appreciate that. Similarly, I love structure and planning, but we're in this era of change, right? We never know what tomorrow might bring. So it's really interesting to hear that as one of the primary things that you've been working on and focusing on and ahead of the curve, right? You started about 5 years ago, you said, really focusing on being more adaptable to when things just don't go to plan, because much as we would like it to, that's not always the case. You're actually wrapping up in this association president role almost as we speak, right? Is tomorrow your last day?
It is, because I'm going to take a little bit of time away. So I still have another year. So it's kind of like a 5-year commitment. And I will be what's called the past president. So it's more of a mentor role and, certain responsibilities and things that I will still have for another year before they totally kick me off the board and go, get out.
Well, mentoring will be a very natural spot for you. You do a lot of that in your role right now. What did you bring? What is it in mentoring, or you as a woman leader? What are the unique strengths that you bring to the mentoring that you do currently in your role with us here at JPAR, but also you'll be providing to the next president that's coming up at the association?
Well, I will tell you that I had a project, and one of my things that I do is, unfortunately, I will open my mouth and speak sometimes before I think. And so there was never really a resource, or you get thrown into the presidency and you don't know what you're doing. You're like a deer in headlights. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make a little book.
Of
Well,
course you did. I have seen your mentorship guide you created for us for agents mentoring other agents. I am sure that they were like eyes lit up.
well, in my head, in all honesty, I was like, okay, so it's gonna be 5 pages, it's just gonna be a little outline of what to kind of expect. Well, by the time we finished, it was close to like 80 pages long. And I finally had to just say, okay, I'm done. It took me like the whole year. So it's like that's my legacy that I'm leaving behind at the association. And it kind of explains to the president what everything is, what to expect, how to speak to the public, how to different things, that to expect with agents, because they get your phone number and they will reach out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is, I mean, that the associations are their professional resource. So we want agents to perform at a
Mm.
certain level of influence and professionalism. And so who are they going to turn to if they aren't getting it from their brokerage, right? They're going to turn to their association. And when there's somebody like you who steps in and says, no, I genuinely am here to support and lift up and empower, I can only imagine how many phone calls you received over the past year, and what an incredible opportunity for the incoming president to have a 80-page guide to help them prepare. I was a Rotary president, and we did that too. We had actually, 2 years leading up to, you went to different trainings and shadowing the president, and then you were your president, and then you got to be past president. And man, I wish I would have had a guide like that stepping into the role, even with all the training we did. That real world, boots on the ground, this is where the rubber hits the road sort of outline. I think we need more of that in the industry as a whole. What
I think,
else do we need? Like the industry, like what are our opportunity areas that we're missing?
wow. I think that one of the things that I would probably focus on is professionalism for agents.
Yeah.
And in showing our value, because I think that the perception out there is not really reality as to what agents are, what we do, and how professional we are. You can run into a really qualified, high-level professional agent that's going to take care of you from A to Z, and then you can also, run into somebody that's maybe this isn't like their first job, or it's more of a hobby, or those types of things. And I think that we really need to get out there and be more professional. I mean, as a whole, and in teaching these agents, that's one of the reasons why I have like the mentorship program. And I have a heart for bringing people to the next level and helping them accomplish their goals. I think one of my strengths that I have is we look at ourselves, we are a continuous improvement company. And that little term came from me, because I like to find little things that need to be fixed. And it could just be a tiny little tweak that you don't even know about that makes a really big difference. And that is one of the things that really gets me going. I love to create new things, kind of like I did with the book, which, turned out to be a little bit bigger of a project than what which does happen on almost everything I do. I'm like, oh, that'll be easy. And then I'm like, oh, I took that to the next level.
Of course you did, but I bet it is comprehensive, and there, if anybody has anything to add it'll just be an evolution to perfection. But right now, I mean, what an incredible resource and legacy, as you said, to leave behind. What I heard you say is you really love bringing others in, so bringing them into the fold and then raising them up. I think, as parents, that gives us sometimes a unique advantage, because we know how to really nurture and pull out the best in people and watch them thrive. And what an amazing, rewarding experience it is to be in a role where you can work with a couple thousand, 5,000 agents at the association, a couple thousand agents, 2 or 3 at least at JPAR that you're always working with, but you can't really touch that many people. So it is through the mentorship program you developed, right, that you're able to have that more trickle down. So, training the trainer, leading the leader. one of the things that stood out when I first met you was how you seem to just identify people's strengths. And I don't know where that comes from. Is it just through listening? Is it through watching? Is it just something that you kind of pick up on? But it's something so unique to you that you can identify these people who will be the right people to sit in the seat to mentor and lead and help carry that same legacy of giving back that you give to the people you meet. How do you do that?
I think that it's just something that is a gift that is one of my strengths. It's not, I've learned more about it through the years, and you have all the personality things and all of this, but it's always been something that I've been able to kind of look at somebody and almost see their motivation behind why they're doing something. So, for instance, not everybody makes a great mentor. But you have to really kind of dig into them and find out where their heart is. And I love to be able to have conversations with people and see where their true heart is and what it is their passion is. Yeah. And it just kind of floats to the top sometimes. And so you're kind of like, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we're the beneficiaries of this talent that you bring to the table. And I also have to say, I know I've said this before, but like my ideal power couple are like you and Howard, because Howard is over here. He is running at 110 full throttle all the time. He's recruiting, he's driving performance. He's out there telling stories and connecting with people. And then you're taking the flow that he's bringing in and you're nurturing them and you're building them and you're committing to helping them grow as professionals. It really is about a whole health sort of mentality. Like, yes, you care about, we have to have money. We need to have commissions because of our why. What do we do with that money? It's not really just about going out and finding wealth, right? It's about creating an environment where people feel whole and complete. And so it's really neat to see what maybe attracts people versus what keeps people in this industry. Any final thoughts or words on the evolution of our industry? What's next? What's up with 2023? How are you feeling?
Ooh, how am I feeling? Curious, number one. What's coming? I would say that 2023 is getting back to connection, getting back to the agent. It's all about the year of the agent. Our industry is so unique and what we do as agents. So taking away from what I do now and put myself in the agent role, we help people with some of their biggest financial decisions and also the most emotional. So sometimes we laugh and we say, we can be therapists too. We're kind of all around, but we don't leave our jobs. We're not 9 to 5. Yeah. And so our careers is part of who we are, and those go with us everywhere. Sometimes it's at the dinner table and we have to learn to do boundaries and everything else. And so this is a career that you really have to love and you have to have a passion for. It's not something that, hey, it's my job, because that's not what makes a great real estate professional.
Right. You don't leave it at 5 o'clock and turn off like a real estate professional, because even if they aren't getting a phone call, on the evening or on the weekend, their brain is still working. They're still behind the scenes. They're still putting out social content. They're negotiating terms of the contract. Even when they're not physically with the client, they don't turn off their hearts, their minds. Like, they're just constantly going. They don't get that separation and stop. So I really appreciate that you recognize the need for connection and the need that agents are having, especially now in uncertain markets and these roller coaster rides of different things in the news and what we've been through over the past few years. I love that. I think it's such a key point for 2023, and we'll be sure to weave that into everything that we're building out for our respective organizations. So keeping connection front and center, bringing others in, but then the deep commitment to raising them up. It's not just about getting people into a seat, it's about giving them the guide.
Yeah, it's giving them the guide And if
Yeah.
they have that passion and they have that desire, then we're going to give them everything that we can to help them with that, and getting people into the right places.
Yeah. Right people, right seats.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to check in with you, as on a regular basis, and we'll hold each other accountable to this idea of connecting and rising up. And thank you so much for jumping on as you're wrapping up your year and getting ready for some of that balanced time off, which is such a necessary thing to do. And as we head into the holidays, family, friends, some relaxation, start off the year strong. So thank you
absolutely.
for being an inspirational leader. Thank you for your commitment as president to the Greater Fort Worth Association of Realtors. And of course, everything you do for us here at JPAR. You are a valued member of our team and a wonderful woman leader for others to emulate.
Well, I love working with you. It's been phenomenal.